The number you have reached, 911, has been changed to a non-published number.
You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
Welcome to another segment of the UCW Radio Show, and this is your host, Lou, a.k.a. Falcon Coparis. And I want to thank all of our listeners for the continued support just by listening to the show. We're continuing to bring on very interesting, very special guests, and I need to let our listeners know that starting on Sunday, we are going to have the Week in Review, the UCW Radio Show Week in Review, and within the next week or so, we should be in anywhere from 10 to 20 million households across the United States. So that's big stuff. Sponsors, we open the door for sponsorship opportunities. So advertisers, marketers, sponsors that want to get involved with the UCW Radio Show, just go to ucwmagazine.com and find out how. Now, in just a little while, we're going to have probably one of our most interesting guests on the show. And I say that because I really don't know what to expect during this show. She's a burlesque performer / dancer. And yeah, I can hear the oohs from our listeners at this point. But I have a feeling, as with all of our guests, that we're going to be able to connect with her as a person. And I understand, and really, I guess understand a little bit more about burlesque. I am going to try to ask questions in order for us to get a better understanding, because I think we need to. Before we bring in our guests, I need to let our listeners know that if you are going to be in Atlanta on September 17th, 2009, then make it down to the Carmike Theater for the red carpet event for Lynch Mob. Rachel Stamper, Scott Stamper, they made a movie, Lynch Mob. It's in about 100 plus Carmike theaters. It's coming out on Friday, the 18th, but you have a special opportunity to go down. If you're in the Atlanta area, to go down for the red carpet event. Keith Sweat's going to be there, and a few other Atlanta celebrities are going to be there. Plus all the actors, Tony Darrow from Sopranos and Goodfellas, and a whole host of people are going to be there. And if you're in that area and you don't attend, you won't have the opportunity, because I will say this, that Rachel Stamper, and Scott Stamper, and the director, and everyone that's going to be there, these guys are there now, but I promise you that in a year's time that you're not going to be able to take the pictures and get the autographs that you are right now. So take my advice, take advantage of it. And I need to let our listeners know as well. Oh, let me give you the website for that. Is lynchmobmovie.com. Trust me, go watch the movie, go to the event, you're not going to be disappointed. Now I need to give our listeners some information. If you want to call into the show, ask questions, all you need to do is go to ucwmagazine.com. You can find out what guests we're going to have on the show. We have a wide array of authors, actors, screenwriters, entertainers, models, athletes, pro wrestlers. We have a whole host of different people coming on the show. Some are up and coming, some are established. We're also going to have some really, really big names on the show, but the whole purpose of this show is to talk about the journey. It's not about just solely promoting a person's up and coming event. That's not how we are. Most media outlets are like that. We're not interested in doing that. What we're interested in doing is telling the full story, so our listeners can connect with our guests, and that's what it's about. And again, I'm going to repeat this. The UCW Radio Show is now opening the doors to sponsorship partnerships. So marketers, if you're looking to get in to work with us at this time, it's probably the best time, because we are looking to expand and grow and increase syndication and grow into other areas that we are not. I'm not at liberty to speak about at this point, but you'll find out about it in the near future. If you're on Twitter, then you can shoot me out some questions or comments Just go there. My Twitter name is Louis Velazquez. It's LouisVelazquez. Follow me and tweet away. Now, without further ado, let's patch in a woman that puts a smile on the faces of thousands and thousands of people each year, from coast to coast like butter on toast. Now a mainstay in Brooklyn, New York. Here is the one and only Sizzle Dizzle. Sizzle, it's great to have you on the UCW radio show. Thanks for being with us this afternoon.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me, Lou. It's a great honor. Thank you.
Oh, no, we're honored because you're in such a good mood. I was telling you that earlier. You're so cheery. That's putting me in a better mood, and that's always a good thing. Yeah, because I don't like to be in a bad mood. But we always appreciate the time that our guests put aside for us, because I know you're busy and most people are busy. So we do appreciate it. Now, Sizzle, most people that are listening to the UCW radio show right now that are familiar with you, they know you as a burlesque performer, a dancer, that type of thing. But what they may not know, yeah, and I'm letting out this little secret of yours, what they may not know is that you've done some off-Broadway stuff as well as some other theater work. In short, there's more to you than they see on stage or read about online. So where I'd like to start, because I find what you do interesting. So what I like to start is at the beginning of your journey. When did you, we're gonna start way at the beginning. When did you first get into entertainment?
Well, when I was about, oh God, I'm giving away my age. When I was about like 8 years old, I saw The Little Mermaid, and I wanted to be a Disney animator. So I took a lot of like drawing classes and such, and I took some dancing lessons as well because I was too graceful at my karate classes. So they switched me right into ballet. And from there, I just love the arts. Love painting, drawing, dancing. I also played the flute in high school and, junior high. And it's just amazing how much you can do with what you have. It's fantastic.
Well,
as I got older and started to realize that animators spend most of their time sitting down, and I'm a very energetic person and didn't think I could do that. I actually focused more on dancing, and then I went to college for costume design so I could wear costumes that were fit for me and everybody else and my friends. And once I got out of college, I became part of a off-Broadway dance company and have done a few regional theater work. And the rest is pretty much history. I went to a burlesque audition and had a great time, and it was wonderfully amazing and supportive and loving. And so as soon as I got out of the audition, I went home and I Googled burlesque classes in New York and ran into the wonderful Joe Boobs Weldon's New York School of Burlesque. Took a few classes and have been performing for about almost 3 years now.
Oh, well, that's pretty cool. So there's an actual school to learn how to get involved in burlesque?
Yep, absolutely. She has classes in like movement, in costume classes, and fan dances, chair dances, costume classes, character persona creation. It's an amazing school. The actual school is called New York School of Burlesque. You can look it up online. The woman who teaches it, her name is Jo Weldon. She's also known as Jo Boobs in the community. She's wonderful, inspiring, completely down to earth, and is just amazingly wonderful.
Oh,
She's a great teacher.
Well, that's interesting. Now, who would think that, hey, you can go to school for burlesque? Go figure. But I guess that makes a lot of sense because you need to. I mean, it's a skill. It's an art form. So
it is, and it's very interesting because everybody does what we do. I mean, everybody takes their clothes off and on again throughout the course of their lives. So it's just interesting. It's a very intimate act that you're doing to an audience, and you just she's very good at fine-tuning what you need to do and to create your own stage persona. And she's very welcoming and very supportive.
Yeah, I think what a lot of people aren't familiar with what burlesque actually is. So maybe there's a misconception out there. So before we get into anything else, maybe you can give us some broad strokes so our listeners can really embrace what it is that you do and what it's actually about.
Sure. Burlesque actually gets a lot of, more times than not, gets confused with stripping. And the actual physical difference is that a lot of burlesque shows, the ladies and gentlemen go down, they remove their clothes and reveal either their undergarments, which are usually a G-string and pasties. Sometimes they'll have like boy shorts on, but it's always usually some sort of undergarment on the bottom and pasties on the top. And that's the physical difference between that and stripping. Also, burlesque to me incorporates it's a combination of performance art and humor. It's actually, the word burlesque means to make fun of. You can take that pretty much wherever, in whatever way you want to. A lot of times, like when they refer to classic burlesque, it's very glamorous, very gorgeous costumes with elaborate sets or big gracious fans. You can also do comedic burlesque, or I've seen, like science fiction characters in burlesque numbers. It's completely up to the performer. But, I just find a lot of, solidarity in when people actually tell a story through their number, through the removal of their clothes, or in some cases the putting on of clothes.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the big difference. Burlesque is more of a performance art, whereas striptease is a little less art, a little more money oriented.
Yeah, well, I mean, if a girl's hanging on a pole, stripping at a strip club, she's taking off her clothes for money, and she's, putting her business in everybody's face for that reason. But what you guys are actually doing, you're on stage, you're performing, you're singing, you're dancing, you're doing all this stuff, and you're not sitting there saying, give me $1. You're doing a performance, and it's more artistic.
Exactly.
It's more artistic than it is, I mean, I don't know what word I can use. Maybe pornographic. I don't know. It's not along those lines whatsoever. This is an artistic form of expression or
yes,
entertainment.
Exactly. The main difference that actually my teacher Joe Boob said, the difference between at a show, at a striptease show or at a burlesque show. If you're at a striptease show, as a stripper, you want to make eye contact and direct your performance to a certain person, to one individual. And basically, the object of that would be to get money from that individual person. Whereas in a burlesque show, you are performing to a crowd. It's something that you give to them, and the responses are their gift back to you. So it's kind of a give and take relationship that a burlesque performer has with his or her audience.
But, with the burlesque performers, from what I understand, you guys have a special type of bond.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Yeah,
yes,
just.
we do. It's
but no, in a good way, not in a bad way.
Yeah.
In a good way. But you guys, obviously you're in an environment that's different than what society wants people to do. It's not you're not performing on Broadway, you're not performing off Broadway, you're not doing anything classical, you're doing something different. So I guess people look at it in that way, that always like taboo, but it's actually not.
No, exactly. You're exactly right. Because what we do is a very intimate act, and because we do that to more often than not to audience members who we do not know, there is you do develop, especially for the female performers, with the body images, you develop an extreme level of self-confidence in yourself, because we are all gifted with a certain body, a certain look. And burlesque, especially for me, has helped me gain respect and admiration for the body that I have. So, to have that level of confidence and love in yourself, and to be surrounded by people who do that as well, it creates a very supportive and amazing atmosphere. and it's a wonderful community. It really is. It's very, very welcoming, very supportive.
Yeah, that's interesting because I hear all different things about it, but I feel just like with anyone, you hear a rumor about someone, you can go past judgment, but it's better for you to find out for yourself whether it is what people say it is or is it something different. So I think if anyone that's listening has a different idea of what a burlesque show is, they should go to a good one and find out for yourself. And it's not everybody's cup of tea.
No, exactly right. You're exactly right.
Yeah, but it's good to judge based on your personal experiences, not what people tell you. Now, yeah. But now, Sizzle, I love that Sizzle. I love that name.
Thank you.
How did you come up with that? I need to know this.
Okay, it's actually I will not take credit for it. When I was about to perform, I was asked for my stage name, and I asked a whole bunch of friends. And that was one of the names that they had given me, and I love it. I love it. It's that's how my friends basically gave me a whole list of names, and we just sat down one day and went through them together, and that was the one that we ended up with. And yeah, it's kind of awesome, and I love it. It makes people laugh. So I love that just for that purpose in general.
Yeah, it is. Look, with just people listening to this, they hear how cheery you are. I see pictures and everything. You're always bubbly and stuff. So again, it's just you're putting me in a better mood, which is it's a good thing. Now you come from Pennsylvania, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you come from Pennsylvania. Now you come to New York to go and try to find something on Broadway. You want to get into acting. You're professionally trained as a theater actress.
Yes, I do have a theater background. I also have a very strong dance background as well. When I did first come to New York, I did want to be on Broadway, and actually I sold T-shirts on Broadway for quite some time, and I went obviously to school for costume design, just to open myself up to different types of art, which that is as well. So I could help out a lot of my dancer actor friends with costumes so that I could make them.
Okay.
But yeah, I went originally here to go on the Great White Way, and after being involved in that community, which is wonderful, I found doing the same thing 8 shows a week, it just wasn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
And now that, in the burlesque community, you are your own director, you're your own choreographer, you choose your own costumes, you choose your own music. So basically you are in charge of everything that you put up on stage, which is both terrifying and extremely gratifying. You can, you want to put something that people will love and adore and hopefully will move and touch them in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to basically rise up to be, professional and give the best that you can, because you are your own director, you are your own choreographer and designer, and so that puts a lot of pressure on you. But it's worth it, because you want to do a good job, you want to give your audience a fantastic time, and when they respond back in a positive way, hopefully, it really is an amazing experience.
But
it's really wonderful.
But it's interesting how you went down that road, and you could have taken another road, but you found this for you just more more appealing.
Yeah, exactly. And I know coming from the dance world, like I'm short. I'm 5'2". I have short legs, and I'm very curvy in body shape. And a lot of times, I had a very time after I got out of my dance company finding a job, because they all wanted, ladies who look like Rockette, tall, leggy women, which I clearly am not.
So they didn't like the pinup girl type of.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, because.
But every shape is glorious and beautiful, and it needs to be embraced. And in the burlesque community, it completely is. It completely is, and it was very refreshing and very comforting to go from something where, it is, the dance world is based on how you look, more so than how you can actually perform. And in the burlesque community, your body is what it is, and, you know, you need to play up your best assets, and after doing that, you know, you grow to love your shape, because it's you know, it's amazing. And that whole experience, that journey that I had from you know, professional dancer, you know, professional, you know, burlesque dancer, it's awesome.
Yeah, because that's a big jump from one to the other. But the thing that you said that I found to be interesting is when you're doing your show, as you said, you're doing for everything from soup to nuts. So in short, and this is someone, there's a guy, and him and I, we've become friendly. He has a show on 970 AM. He is David Webb. He told me something. Okay, was it about a week ago? And he said to me, he said when he was in radio, he's been in radio for a long time, and he said one piece of advice that he got that he holds true till today is someone that gave him, because he was out there, he was a big radio celebrity guy out there, you know, shaking hands, kissing babies, the whole 9 yards, and all of a sudden he was trying to get a gig and they turned him down, and he didn't know why. And then the guy told me, he said, you know, if you, as someone being in radio, right, and this is how it relates to you, by the way, it's funny, it's going to relate to you in a second, and you being a radio guy, that if you learn everything from the board and how everything operates from beginning to end, how everything operates, the engineer, what they do, how everything goes out, how everything works, you'll have longevity in the radio business. So for you, you're learning everything from choreography, everything to doing all that. So what does that say about you in the entertainment business? Not just burlesque, but the entertainment business as a whole. Because you know, you're directing, you're producing, you're acting, and you're dancing, and you're singing, you're entertaining, you're doing all that stuff. Forget about you taking off your stuff. You're doing all that stuff. So you're putting on a true show from beginning to end.
No, continue.
No, I said you're putting on a true show from beginning to end.
Exactly. No, you're absolutely right. And I think that, you know, what Dave said is very, very, not just to the radio industry, but to what you want to do in life. I want to be involved in entertainment and entertaining people. So when I was in college, costume design was my major, but I also got involved in acting classes as well, and also lighting design and scenic design. I think all the information, all the knowledge that you have, you certainly can use to help improve what you want to do, to hone your craft, so to speak. As a burlesque dancer, for me anyway, because I am a trained dancer, I always make sure that I keep myself in shape, and that I am constantly learning new moves, new steps, getting inspiration from old influences like Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly, Bob Fosse, watching, old movies to get an idea of how, the glamour of like Hollywood was, so you can incorporate that into like pinup work, since that was around the very similar time period. If you were doing like a themed act on like World War I, you obviously need to get a sense of history for what time was like back then, what the fashion was, what the movements were, what the hair was and the makeup, everything there, to make sure that you give a very accurate, professional presentation of what you want to come across, what you want to say.
Right. Well,
I think that's absolutely true.
Yeah, I see that. I understand that, and I see that a million zillion %. One thing that I will say, and I need to ask you, are you, beyond doing the burlesque, are you doing modeling as well?
Not at the moment. I've done a lot of pinup work before, but right now I'm taking a little break right now.
Okay.
But yeah, I have done modeling before, yes.
Yeah, because I'm looking at a couple of your pictures, and it's interesting how, and you said with period pieces, how you put yourself in the garb and everything, and the picture's taken, and it's like you belong there.
Mhm.
It's like you belong in that time period. And it's interesting because when you do your show, you're actually, I guess, for all intents and purposes, you're kind of transporting yourself into a different mindset or a different time.
Exactly.
See, I understand that stuff. See, I'm not that stupid. I know.
No, I would never think ever. No, I do believe, like, as a performer, as someone who entertains, perhaps it's a bit old-fashioned of myself, but I think it is a responsibility as an artist to provide your audience, your viewers, or your audience, a chance to escape to this world that you've created. Especially now that, times are not so good right now, so any chance to get their minds off the fact that they're in a recession and times are tough, even if only for like a 4-minute song, it's fantastic. Because then you've lifted their spirit.
And
I think as an entertainer, it's your responsibility and your duty to help your mankind rise above and be entertained and allow them to forget their troubles for a little while through like story and hopefully get a laugh out of them, or if laughter's not, your intended purpose, not something serious, just to get their minds off of what their world is and to get transported into your world so that they can go back to their world better.
Yeah, well, I think that when someone, whether they go to a burlesque show or a comedy show or something like that, but let me just go towards burlesque. They go to a show like yours. Let's say they go see you perform, and they're having a bad time or things are not going the right way. They see something like that. The way you put on your show, they forget where they are for a minute, but when they leave, they're actually talking about this the next day, 2 weeks later, a month later, or they'll say, well, yeah, a year ago I saw Sizzle Dizzle and she was performing here and it was really interesting, and they thought it was funny and they thought it was whatever, but you have an impact. That's the bottom line. You have an impact, and I think that's fantastic.
It's a wonderful, terrific honor. It is.
That's awesome. Now, do you see yourself, you're doing burlesque now, do you see yourself at any point going back to theater work?
I actually wouldn't mind it right now. Right now I'm actually focusing a lot on burlesque. I'm still doing dancing, not as heavily as I used to, but still professionally. I do get out and do some films every now and then, but right now I'm addicted to live entertainment right now, so I'm going to stick with that for a while.
Okay, that's cool. Now, one thing that I think, and again, you can correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe I'll just ask you the question. I'll let you talk. But do you think that by you doing the burlesque shows, that if you were to get into theater, that what you're doing now is going to actually help you be a better theatrical performer?
Yes, it would. A lot of a good performance, whether or not you're doing burlesque, dance, or straight acting, is to make a connection to the audience. When you make that connection, then they are in with you. If you get their trust to go on this journey with you, whether through song or dance or spoken words, that is a really great responsibility and duty as a performer, as an artist, to gain their trust so that they can come along with you on this journey that you're going to make. And because burlesquers do a lot of very intimate, numbers, what we do is very intimate, it builds up your confidence to reach out your hand to them, which makes it easier for them, the audience, to grab hold and to go with you.
So in other words, and let me just try to paint this picture, when you're somewhere and you're performing on stage, as opposed to you going into their world, you're putting your hand out, bringing them into your world.
Exactly.
Okay, so they get to escape whatever they have going on in their lives. Now, now, Sizzle. I like saying that, by the way. Sizzle. You've performed coast to coast. You performed in New York. You performed on the West Coast, and so on and so forth. Why don't you tell us what type of places you have performed in and where?
Well, I was out in Los Angeles for about 5 months last year. I had gotten a job teaching dance and went out there to explore the West Coast. I know this sounds terribly odd of myself, but I'm a huge fan of the seasons, and only having sunshine kind of got under my skin a lot, so I came back to New York. But when I was in Los Angeles, I did perform at with Monday Night Teas, which is a weekly burlesque show. I did do music videos with a gentleman by the name of Cheeks. I was in a theater company, and it was wonderful and it was great. It just LA is not my home. New York is.
Yeah,
well, so I'm very happy to be back in New York City, and I've had the honor of doing a lot of very well established burlesque shows such as Starshine Burlesque and Wasabasco and Hard Candy, Kitty Night. A lot of the burlesque shows, you can actually find a burlesque show in New York City any day of the week, Monday through Sunday. Some of them are in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. Others are in Williamsburg or Park Slope, Brooklyn. But there is something every night in New York City, and that's just one of the reasons why I love the city so much.
Oh, so there's no lack of work for you.
Exactly.
That's a good thing. But just to touch on the season part of things, you're not alone in that. I think a lot of people that do move to the West Coast, or they go there for a little bit, or go to Florida or something. They're like, they miss having the leaves turn orange and yellow and falling down, and the coolness coming in, and then the snow.
Yes, I miss
it's
that.
magical to me. To me, it's magical. Yeah, to me, it's magical when the seasons change like that.
It is. It is a cycle, and I think I have missed it. I didn't know how much I would miss it till it wasn't there. So now I'm actually kind of happy for fall. I'm like, yay, autumn's here.
Yeah, there you go. But it's funny, and I can't even give you, I can't even say this, that if you look at seasons, even throughout your life, you go through seasons. You go through bad times and good times, and so on. You go through all these different changes, but you can equate that to a change in seasons when things are going to get better, and that's just a part of your life that goes away. Now you have something new. When the seasons change, it gives you something to look forward to, I think.
No, you're absolutely right. Absolutely. Yeah. It is a cycle, and everything in life has a cycle, and like you said, we have ups and downs, and it's all part of the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I think so. But I need to say I love LA. I mean that's me. I've lived there for a wee bit, so yeah, it's a nice place. But again, with the seasons, I mean I like the seasons, so I'm like all over the place, But then that's me because I have problems, but that's okay. Now, so now let me ask you this. Now, when you perform, is it usually you performing solo, or do you perform with other people as part of a bigger show? How does that work?
Most of the time, you're a freelancer. You perform, your number in a show. So there are some burlesque shows that I am a regular at. I am a regular at a show on the Lower East Side called Hard Candy, and that's every second Tuesday of the month. I'm also a regular at Wasabasco Burlesque, which is in Park Slope, Brooklyn, the first Saturday of the month. Okay. But both those shows actually, they put a great amount of trust in me to perform numbers by myself, thought up by myself. Oh, right. So even though I'm performing with different people, the numbers that I do are of my own conception.
Okay. All right. Now I'm going to ask you something personal. You
sure.
ready? You ready?
I'm ready.
I'm going to hit you with this. No, but seriously, people, we talked about it earlier, how people, they tend to pass judgment. Now, people that know what you do, that aren't familiar with that world, do they judge you?
had some friends who have researched burlesque, and they would rather not see me do that, which makes me kind of sad. But I do have to respect their wishes. A lot of my guy friends would rather not see me on stage, but they support me and they wish me good luck on their shows, which I do respect. I have asked them, I wish you would come see one of my shows, because a lot of my acts that I have are definitely more funny than they are like raunchy, sexy. So you'll actually get a laugh more than you'll like get a hard on. So I'm like, I wish, if you do want to come see me, I will, it is a good time. I will make you laugh more so than anything else.
Okay. Well.
But some people are comfortable with my friends, that I at my other jobs come see me and they love it, and other people are just like, it's not for me, but I do support you, and that it's sad. It's a little sad, but I had to respect their wishes. I'm certainly not going to force my lifestyle down anybody else's throat. That's just not common courtesy. But I do understand that it is a touchy subject for some people and whatever they've been brought up to believe. But a lot of people who do know me know that I am a very good person, and people who have seen me perform know that I'm very professional, and I do make people laugh, and I have a really good time at it. And by the time that they leave the show, they've had a good time watching me. So that's what makes me, that's what keeps me going. It's like, well, even though some other friends of mine may not come and see me, the ones I have raved about it, and they had a good time, and they're very interested in this type of art form, so they hopefully will continue to go see other shows and support my other burlesque friends.
Okay, well, that's interesting, because do you consider burlesque more of a lifestyle, or is it just something that you do because you enjoy it? Because there's a big difference between the two.
There is. I would say it probably started out being something I enjoy to do, but as I've gotten more experience, and I've been in it for almost 3 years now, it is a type of lifestyle, especially with the female body image. I carry myself differently. I'm very proud of how I look and how I present myself to people, because I work for myself. I am my own director, choreographer, publicist, producer,
manager, agent,
myself,
everything,
with the best foot forward and everything. So it is a lifestyle in the sense that I have to constantly be on my game, even if I'm not performing. And also, it is a lifestyle because when I'm not performing, I'm also going to see shows that my friends are in, so I can help support them.
Okay, well, it's not. Well, it's not like, and I need to clarify this with our listeners, so they do understand. It's not like Sizzle's going to the grocery store with pasties on. Not even
no.
close.
Oh my goodness, no. No, but it is like there's, and a lot of people hopefully will understand, is that when you have a confidence about yourself, you carry yourself differently. And when you're going to the groceries, even just to getting groceries, it shows in your posture, and even in that little change of difference, for me it is a lifestyle because it has helped me embrace the fact that everything is beautiful.
Right.
No matter if it's not, peace, it's not what the society says. Everything is beautiful, and so you want to treat people with respect, especially when, like we just talked about, some people are not comfortable with what I do for a living. That's fine. That's totally fine. I respect that. As long as, you don't, beat me over the head with something, that's totally fine.
Right.
And that type of attitude has helped me open up. So that is why I say that, burlesque is a lifestyle for me right now.
Well, that's what I do. I just, it's funny that, when people, like in your case, when, if you said to me, well, and I was a friend of yours, and you said to me, well, I'm a stripper. Yeah, I can sit there and I can go and forge my own picture of what you're doing. Okay, it's not hard to do. You're a stripper. You're getting naked. You're taking dollars and doing you're flashing your coochie out to everyone out there, and you're going doing it for money. But what you're doing, in order for someone to really understand, they need to actually see it. That's what I'm finding to be just a little bit different. Well, actually, no, a lot bit different, because as you said, your friends, they're some don't support, but have they been to your show?
The ones that are not very comfortable have not, and that, like I said, I respect that. Those who have come and seen me really love it. They love the entire experience.
Yeah, but you see, but that's what I'm saying, is that the ones that aren't comfortable, which I can understand someone not being comfortable, but at the very least, you have to use some common sense, and if you're gonna not be comfortable about something, or if you wanna, just to find out what you do. I mean, curiosity has to be there to say, okay, let me go and see, and if I don't like it, yeah, I'm never gonna go again. But I can tell her that I tried to do it. It's not for me, and I can't. You do what you need to do. I support you as a human being to do what you need to do, but I really can't go to these shows, and I can't support you in that way. That would make sense to me.
Yes, no, absolutely. Absolutely, it does make sense.
But someone, not knowing, and again, I mean, to anyone in general, not so much to your friends, or maybe to your friends that haven't gone. I don't care. This is my show. I say what I want. The bottom line is, if they're passing judgment without actually going to to see you perform, that's ignorance. Bottom line, and that's the way I look at it. And that's my opinion. And if people don't like it, I don't know what to say. But but that goes for anything, whether it's burlesque, whether it's anything that you do in life. Until you know yourself what's going on, how do you pass judgment? You can't. I mean, but people do.
Exactly.
But people do, and that's a problem that we have in this society, which is unfortunate.
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. But now let's get to what you have going on currently, because I mean you gave a good some good information, or some good insight into what burlesque is about. I mean, you taught me something today. And,
oh, yay! Awesome.
Yeah, and that's a good thing, because I honestly, I'm going to say it. I've never been to a show. I never thought about it. Okay, never thought about it. I don't pass judgment either way, because I can't do that unless I go. But now you intrigue me that I may go, and maybe I'll make maybe that first show I go to may be yours. I don't know.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, we're gonna see. But you're performing soon, right?
Yes. Actually, I'm doing 2 shows this coming Saturday, the 19th.
Where are these shows taking place?
The first one is probably going to it's around like 7, 8 o'clock. It's at a new bar that's opening up in Prospect Heights. It's called the Way Station. And I'll be go-go dancing with also some other burlesque performers as well. And that's basically from like 7, 8 o'clock to probably midnight, if not later.
Okay.
And then the other show that I'll be doing that same night is from 11 to 2 p.m. And that will be at the Beauty Bar in Bushwick.
Oh, you got to go with your life in your hands to that one.
No, they do make some really good dirty martinis though at that place. I have to give them credit. I'm like, ooh.
Okay.
For a martini, I know where to go.
Hey, now you're gonna draw the crowd. Watch out. I hope they have security around there. My God. Actually, yeah, you're going to Bushwick. Wow, you got a lot of you got a lot of nerve.
It's gonna be a really awesome show. It's gonna be fun. It's a 70s disco themed show, so it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Okay, that's cool. Now, the first show you said is in Prospect Heights, right?
Yes.
And that's in Brooklyn. Is there any further information that you would want to give a listener if they wanted to go and see you perform?
Sure. I do know that they have a Facebook page. It's the Way Station. If you look via Facebook, Way Station, it is a bar. It's going to be Brooklyn's steampunk bar. It's a bar and music venue. They'll have music like jazz and blues music, in addition to burlesque shows once the bar starts opening up and everything.
Okay.
And It's going to be very interesting. It's a beautiful space. It really is. And I do know the owners very well. They're really awesome, and they're very excited to get live entertainment back into that area of Brooklyn.
Cool. That sounds fantastic. So people can go on Facebook, the Way Station, and look that up and get that information. And then you have a series of shows. You say you perform at certain places consistently or frequently.
Yes. The first one, I'm with Wasabasco Burlesque.
Okay.
And they have their own website, wasabasco.com. And that is the first Saturday of every month at Union Hall in Park Slope, Brooklyn.
Okay.
And then also I'm a member of Hard Candy Burlesque, which is the second Tuesday of every month at a place called Identity on the Lower East Side of Manhattan.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Hard Candy, I like that. Hard Candy. That's like that. That's like that makeup.
Yes, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've been to Sephora and I see that thing, Hard Candy. I was curious. I didn't know what it was, but it's all makeup and stuff. I said, I'm not buying that. That would be kind of funny for me to go buy that. That's not good. This has been an interesting show actually, because I've never had anyone that was in burlesque on the show. That's why I thought it'd be interesting bringing you on. And I personally, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know.
Oh yeah, well I'm so glad to have popped your cherry on the burlesque scene.
Yeah, you did. But the thing is that you explained it in a way that it does give a different look to what people may know, because I'm sure you have some people in burlesque that don't perform well, and sometimes people have a crappy experience probably, but I think that if anyone that's in New York and they want to see a grade A show from someone that to me seems to be a grade A performer, then you have to go see Sizzle Dizzle. Yeah, I'm giving you your props.
Thank you so much. That's such a sweet thing. Thank you so much. You made my day. Awesome.
Oh, cool. But something, I believe that what happens with people is that when you speak to someone, you get a better idea of the type of person they are. Okay, so just speaking to you, I'm getting a better idea of the type of person you are, because even though this is what you do, is burlesque is not anything. It's not anything that's a horrible, disgusting thing. It's not. You're performing, and it's just different. It's just different. It's just different. When people pass, and again, I keep going to this, but it bothers me when people pass judgment, because whether it be in entertainment, whether it be in your life, some people, they this from the beginning of time, when they persecuted the Jews and everything else, people passed judgment, and there was a lot of hostility and anger, even though some was religion, but then yet from religion to race to color to this to that, people, I guess it's human nature for people just to pass judgment, and I think that's sad. And in this time and age, and especially what you're doing, you're actually bringing some enjoyment. Same way when people put on the TV and they watch a comedy show, it puts them in a better mood. When they go to your show, it's not like oh my God, that girl's hot. No, it's not that. It's like, oh my God, she's funny. She's cracking me up, because you're doing silly things and you're performing and you're dancing, you're doing your stuff, and just maybe with a silly expression, you're making people laugh. Exactly.
That is my goal every time I go up on stage.
See, I understand. Now, Sizzle, is there anything else that you want to touch on that we haven't spoken about yet?
I think everything is fantastic. I think we talked about a lot of different things, so I am actually good. Thank you so much for inviting me on your show. It's been an amazing, wonderful time.
You're welcome, but I
feel really honored.
Well, we're honored to have you on here. We only have special people on our show, and I don't mean special like in mentally handicapped. I mean, just good people. But one thing that you did forget, and you forgot about this. You need to let our listeners know how they can find out more about you.
Oh, yes. Excellent point. Well, I am both on MySpace and Facebook as Sizzle Dizzle. So you're more than welcome to contact me there. That's not a problem. I also have my email address on both websites, so you're more than welcome to send me an email and say hi.
Okay.
That's absolutely not a problem.
Okay, cool.
Every first of the month I send out an email blast of when I'm performing, so if that's something that anybody would like to know about, feel free to shoot me an email. I'll be happy to put you on that so you can have an idea of what's going on.
Cool.
But yeah.
Cool. And now, and here goes one last question for you. Do you tweet? Do you have Twitter like everybody else in the world?
No, I do not tweet.
Oh my God, that's a travesty in the burlesque world, especially. You should be tweeting away like a Tweety bird.
No, I just joined Facebook. I'm a bit slow. I was such a huge fan of MySpace that I kind of converted slowly to Facebook.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Twitter. I don't want to know what everybody is thinking every second of the day. I have shows to do, so.
Oh, so you have a life. So you don't want to be like Ashton Kutcher or John Mayer, huh?
Exactly. That's a bit too much for me. I'm glad people if that works for them. More kudos to them, but Facebook and MySpace is plenty for me.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with Twitter, with Twitter, I just want to touch on this before we head out. It's just interesting that Twitter, it's great for social networking. It's like a quick messaging thing, but really, who wants to hear? Well, I just ate this and I feel sick. Yeah, I really don't care. Now, moreover, it amazes me how you have someone that has 2, 3, 4 million people listening to what they have to say. And a lot of this stuff is nonsense. It's like you're hearing something that's ridiculous.
Exactly. It's kind of interesting and odd at the same time.
Yeah, but I mean, really, you have 2 or 3, 4 million people that have nothing better to do but to hear what John Mayer has to say. Say what you need to say and sing. We don't need to hear you see your tweets every 2 seconds. I like his music. I like him, but I mean, the Twitter bug. He needs to. I hope he has a girlfriend already, because it's like enough already. So that's about it for that. Anyway, so we're not going to talk about him anymore because he's not on this show. This is you. This is the Sizzle Show for you. All right, Sizzle. I want to thank you again for coming on the show. This has been one of the more interesting shows that we've had. I've had everyone from automotive manufacturers to actors, other entertainers on the show, and we go through their inspirational journey. But your journey is slightly different, which is also, it's interesting because you actually went down a road that most people wouldn't do. And what I find intriguing to me, which is also inspirational, that you chose, instead of fighting to go and to do theater, which you could have stood with that and not reach the heights that you want to reach to make you happy in life, you chose to go a route to do something that's making you happy. So it's not so much, you're working, but it's not like work because you enjoy what you do, but you're able to be creative in what you do, and you're learning every aspect of the entertainment world, I mean, on a basic form, on a low level, but you're learning how all the mechanics are, so that when you do go, and I know that we will see you in theater again, and we may see you in movies again. I'm going to say yes, we will see you in movies again, doing all this stuff, but I think that, learning everything from the ground up is the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
And
I agree.
Yeah, and surely you took a slightly different path. You like curved right, but still, it's still you're being creative and you're learning, and I commend you on doing that. And I think any of our listeners that haven't gone to a burlesque show, give it a shot. I'm gonna give it a shot. I may go see you. Okay. Now what's gonna happen at that point? I don't know. But I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. Now you got me curious. You're
gonna have a great time. It's gonna be awesome.
All right, cool. We're gonna have to check that out. All right, Sizzle. Again, thank you once again. And listen, what I want to do at some point in the future, I want to follow up with you. as you progress with what you're doing and you venture, and I know it will come to a point that you'll venture out of burlesque and you'll start doing theater and things like that again. And what I want to do is bring you on the show, because as you progress in your career and what you're doing in your life, well, everything that you've done becomes a part of your story. So we're catching you right now at this point in your life. This is not your complete story. I need to follow up with you in order to show the path that you're going, because you're with your attitude and your chipper demeanor and everything, that you're destined for great things. And you know, I mean, putting a whole show together yourself is not easy. It's hard work, and people should understand that. And I know that hard work is rewarded with success, and that's all going to happen for you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. That's awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate your support. That is wonderful. Thank you.
You're so welcome, Sizzle. And now, our listeners, again, you can follow Sizzle by going to a MySpace, and the MySpace ID is Sizzle Dizzle. And as far as you can contact her on Facebook, again, Sizzle Dizzle. You go and get in touch with her and follow her and find out more about her, so that you can see that it's beyond just going and going on stage and taking your clothes off. There's an art form to this. And again, did I expect to be saying this today? No. But Sizzle gave me a different view of the burlesque life, and I appreciate that. And again, yeah, you're welcome. Okay, and that's about it for this episode or segment, or part of the show, or whatever you want to call it. But this is, I think we're done for today. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll be back with you again on UCW Radio.
Initiating shutdown sequence. UCW Radio, in your face. What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.